Alright, so I'm going to make this screenshot video while I still have some of the linear text messages of the events as they kind of lined up. So this has been November 19th, 2024. So right around, November 2nd or 3rd, I probably made this video online, Facebook. I actually reactivated my Facebook account, went on live, and then did like a Harris County Sheriff's report on my wife stealing all my money and embezzlement after she took my kids and left me with $0 after I found out I made over 200K. And this is honestly that year. I've made almost 800 plus K in 3 or 4 years. Not to mention all the money she makes, which is pretty damn good, which we're not even taking into fact. So I made this, and she let me know that this is still up on my Facebook, which I forgot they even left it up there. So she asked me to take it down. I did. And then here's the thing. I was hounding her about, where the fucking keys are to my truck, my camper, all the safes, because I had all the keys in my fanny pack. I had a couple friends confirm that the keys were in the fanny pack. I kept all my paperwork, my documents together. When I was in this mental hospital, they involuntarily had me cremated because I was a harm to myself or said I might hurt myself, even though in August, I want to say August 2nd or 3rd week, I told her I've never hurt or harmed myself, and I felt like I was being watched or followed because I'd seen cars tailing me and stuff, and I'd do 3 lefts and 3 rights, and the same car would still be behind me. I would do mad detours through neighborhoods, and they'd still be following me, so very alarming. And I was having GPS notifications on Google and stuff like that through my phone. So I told her to leave our phones inside and went out back, told her I'm never going to hurt myself, harm myself. I had to work from home this year. With all the storm chasing, I didn't have to travel, so I got to see what was going on in my house firsthand since April of this year, 2024. And I was alarmed when I got to witness everything. My son was telling me how my wife was treating him, how my wife is screaming at these kids, chaperoning him to a therapist, and trying to create the situation that actually try to cover the situation that she's created by bringing him around a strange man. He told me many times as a kid, but he really didn't really have the words. He would just bang his head and get frustrated. And now he's able to tell me about the strange man is back again, or the strange man again. So now it's not just strange man, it was again. So to get to it, when I was in the hospital, they were hounding me about where the passports were and where the firearms were. The thing is, you couldn't know the firearms were missing out of the safe unless you had access to safe and open them. So when they're asking me where all the guns are at, that means that they had my fanny pack full of keys. They opened the safe and realized all my rifles and pistols had been moved. And I did that ahead of time because I felt like my house wasn't safe. There was people watching or coming in. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to remove the firearms so that I felt that there was something wrong. And I could sense that from my wife, but she had a lot on her plate at the time, so I didn't really show her what was happening on my phone with all the tracking and the GPS notifications. I let her know if anything happens to me, you ask questions and go to authorities because I will never fall off a roof if I can help it. I'm not going to get in a truck or a giant truck and get in a car wreck and probably die. I drive a pretty good truck. I'm pretty safe in that truck. I do a really good job. I make a lot of money per year, every year damn near, and almost $1 million in 4 years. And I pay very little in taxes because I have multiple LLCs and a trust, and I have studied intently on how to keep your money and make money with money. So you can pay less in taxes, which isn't a loophole. It's just a benefit if you know how to structure your assets and so forth. So what she did is create an alibi after she realized that all the keys were missing and had to have a guy try to open the safe. Well, guess what? My safes are never left open, ever. Even if they're empty, they are shut and locked because a kid can get in there or slam the door on their hands. These are big, heavy metal safes. You don't ever leave it unlocked or open. That's the number one rule for anyone, especially like old refrigerators too. Kids get in there, get trapped, and they suffocate. Same thing with safes. So you don't ever leave them unlocked, ever. Even if they're empty, you leave them locked. And so she hired this guy for $95 to come out and open up a little security box, which did have the passports in it, but when I secured all my insurance documents and all my LLCs and all my paperwork, I took those passports too. So she gets the locksmith invoice, and this guy does a little black safe box, and then he goes upstairs and unlocks my daughter's closet door, normal deadbolt key, to find a safe that's already open, and empty. That's what she said. It's complete bullshit. I found a safe key inside that safe, on the floor next to the safe, and that is because that's how they opened it. And that little key was in my fanny pack. Every key was in my fanny pack. So, and I had my fanny pack still. They didn't take anything in the truck. They didn't take the pistol in the fanny pack. They just took the keys to a bunch of empty safes, and that's it. They didn't take the drones or anything else in my truck. I had probably $10,000-$15,000 of gear, $500 in the center console, and a locked pistol in the center console. They could easily got all that with the keys, and they didn't. They could have took the whole truck, which is over $100K. They didn't do. So I questioned her about, where the fuck the keys. She keeps telling me that she never know, they didn't know where they're at, and this created a lot of problems. And so I asked for the locksmith. She gave me the information. And then I noticed this 1649 card was a Visa card that we don't use for Wells Fargo anymore, although she uses Wells Fargo quite often. And it's funny because the original account I opened was in 2001. Went to close this account, is the account opened in 2007. So I don't know. I think she took the primary in my account and so forth. I'll confirm that later when I get the statements from Wells Fargo here shortly, because I'm going to get statements for the last 7 years. So it goes, yes, I had the cards locked at the time. I don't know why. This is showing that they had the ring angle plan. When I brought the attention up, where's the fucking money? And I know who the strange man is. Who is the strange man around my son? My son brought that up. October 14th was the day that the ring cameras were paid for. It should have been recording. That footage was never recorded because it was deleted by her. And on 10/14 is also when I noticed the email swap at which she changed Hatfield Holdings' email in QuickBooks. And that is logged. That's what started me really questioning when I looked at that. And then 14 days later, I get a charge for $29.70. And guess what? There's only one email chain in that whole history. I should have 5 or 6 years of being paid through QuickBooks and through these roofing companies. And I don't have any emails, period, in any of my stuff because she changed the emails. And I got proof of this through other stuff as well, like the Prestonwood storage. She finds a subscription, changes the email, inflates that subscription through QuickBooks, and makes it a large credit card transaction or Texas Workforce Commission transaction, when really it was the $200 Prestonwood storage unit labeled as TXWC or whatever, Texas Workforce Commission, then labeled under rent. My CPA found this. I didn't have an accountant. I tried to hire one, but Lindsay was playing accountant. She had all access to all my passwords, QuickBook, and all the finances up until October 14th, up until the end of October 2025. She's handled all the finances in our entire relationship. I did not have a single credit card, password, or email sent to any of my stuff, and if I did, it was into a spam inbox. So I didn't see any transactions or any credit card statements or bank statements ever. So the day she tried to have me marked, like I said, this is all about her trying to have me hit for insurance money. This is my dog Chloe. Okay, I let her out on the 20th, a little bit around lunchtime. And I was gonna go outside and meditate and just hang out with her and do some work. But I took a phone call and I got ran a little long and I ate some soup or whatever, had some lunch. I went to get her and I didn't find her. She was only out there for 15, 20 minutes, not very long. And I couldn't find her. I looked everywhere, and then I took another phone call and looked again. And I had started the trucks. I figured maybe she walked out front, but she wasn't. And long story short, I had to go pick up my son, take him to a therapy session to out in Katy, so he could do that. And I was kind of mad because I didn't see Chloe, and I was really upset that I didn't find her. And I didn't want to leave her outside because it's still a warm day. It was actually a fairly warm day. We had a cold front coming in. But long story short, I drove back with my son and told Lindsay, can't find Chloe. If you're home before me, look for her. And anyways, she ended up making a flyer. If you look at this flyer, this is day one. She makes this flyer 7:15 p.m. Right? Guess what's not on there? A phone number at all. There's no phone number. Right? There's no phone number at all on this flyer. And I only put this flyer in my neighborhood and the neighborhood across from me. There's no phone number for us. She failed to do that. And right off the bat, she goes, can't reach you. Someone responds saying they saw her run across Gessner Road to the water tower. I called out, now walking through the neighborhood. That's 9:21 p.m. So I said, print a few more off, tried calling you back. I'm by Amazon right now. It's 9:24 p.m. Okay, good. I was thinking they're next. I can't call you either. Okay? So, pretty devastating day. The next day, I'm out there early morning. I'm really screaming and yelling. And someone says they thought they saw her, but it was another dog. It wasn't Chloe. It was by a light pole. It was like a pit bull. It wasn't a French bulldog. So first thing in the morning, still no Chloe. And I said, hey, truck brakes are toast. Just got home, found a place that has parts. I'm noticing there's something wrong, okay, with my truck. It feels bad. And long story short, I keep saying that. The truck brakes are toast. That morning, we took my truck and her car to my daughter's church where she had a Thanksgiving lunch. And it was kind of a crappy little lunch, like ate nuggets and Chick-fil-A, but nevertheless, we had to see Everly. She loved that we were there, had a good time. I ate some nuggets, some french fries, and Lindsay did whatever. I figured we'd get a salad afterwards. It was a work from home day. We were supposed to go through all of our account statements and paperwork. That's what the day was. And we made a deal to do it. And guess what? Dog goes up missing the day before. So, of course, we're looking for Chloe and doing all that. As I'm driving to Everly's thing and last night looking for Chloe, I remember my brakes are all squishy, the truck's been all feeling weird. And so I literally had to get my truck serviced. So I took my truck to the shop, figured she could pick me up 5 minutes away, and we'll go home and do all the paperwork and all that stuff. Try to figure out where all this money is. She's on my team. I got to figure out what's going on here. And after waiting for a while, I got there before noon, waiting for her, nothing. 107, nothing. At 1:38, she finally texts me, "Can you do Uber? Need to get back to work." All right, acting like she's actually already working. I said, "I will. I thought you were working from home today since I took care of Thatcher's therapy is all." So she asked me to do it yesterday. So I did. I said, "I am working from home." Or sorry, she goes, "I am working from home, but I need to actually work." 1:45. I got approval to be out at Everly's thing and this appointment, but supposed to be back online at 2 p.m. It's 1:47. Aha, me too. I was going to sign 2 deals today. Didn't get to. Thus, I said, this Uber driver is like a heavy car perfume. It's so gross. And she texted that. And anyways, I say, lots of sniffling too. The guy had like a runny nose and it's kind of gross. Probably from all the perfume stinking or smelling. I said, I'll be home in 5 to 10 minutes. The shop said my truck is going to be ready this evening. See you at home. See you at home soon. She goes, I'm on my way. She instantly replies back, I'm on my way. As I said 2 o'clock, she says 2 o'clock. If you look right here, I am working from home. I actually need to work. Well, where the fuck you at if you ain't working from home? She ain't home. She didn't know. She's lying to me. Okay, she goes, I'm on my way. I said, just got home. So she's not even home yet. I said, there's still no Chloe. I said, are you close by? 206. She goes, 10 minutes away. Cool, instantly. I say, cool, I may need to go to ATT store. Now, she doesn't reply right away, but 8 minutes later, she goes, come out, guy on phone with Chloe. She got stolen. Shared route. And this is where they give me this thing that she sent me. She sent me this route. Not the guy. She sent me this thing to go via. And look at this view. This is where she sent me. Look at the map. Map app goo.gl. This isn't even Google. All right. If I click this, it doesn't do anything. Let's just see what it does. Yep. No page. This is a fake ass page. There you go. That's what she sent me. That is from Lindsay at 2:33 p.m. All right. Now she's already home at that point, but at first she busted the door with a guy named King Tut on the phone with the 346 number, and this guy's sounds grimy. He's rumbling and rambling, kind of like I am now. But anyways, he's telling me that for $300 or $400 he'll help me get my dog back because this guy's a dog beater, drug dealer, whatever, and they don't like him, so he's gonna help me. I didn't even ask questions. Didn't think to ask for a picture of the dog. I just pulled on my heartstrings. So she goes, I'm on my way home. Just got home. Hey, still no Chloe. You close by? She goes, 10 minutes. Cool, I may need to go to the ATT store. My phone is acting up. It's doing all these weird things. I've been tired of it. It's getting all these theft alerts and hacks. She just come out, guy on phone with Chloe. She got stolen. Of course, I'm like, what the hell? And I talked to the guy, and I'm like, shit, where's this at? When I look this up, it's in the south side of town. It's bad. And my truck's in the shop. And she's like, just go. Just take the car and go. Just go. And I'm like, we got to get our kids in like an hour. She's like, I'll worry about it. Just go. Keep in mind, it's already 2:30. Normally we're going to be getting the Thatcher. We're going to be leaving to get Thatcher here pretty soon here. So she goes, just go. And I said, shit, let me think about this. And so I go get a pistol, 2 pistols, because I only had a few here. And I go grab, my fanny pack, which had about $2,000 in it. I took my briefcase with me because I had all my bank stuff in it and all the paperwork and all my evidence still. And I take my wife's car and I drive out there. I'm heading out down 290. I say, resend the link. There's no map on this. And so she resends this link. And it says maps app at google.dole. See that right there? You look in goo.gle. That's at 2:57 p.m. I said, hun, I got a bad feeling about this. This map is leading me all over the place. It's not like a normal GPS. And she texts back at 4:04 p.m. She might have my trucks in the shop, and I guess the lock nuts for the key aren't in there, or for my rims aren't in there. Because my truck's been rummaged through. There was a lock nut for my tires and rims, but they took that. I think they're trying to loosen my tires or something, because I've noticed some wobbles. I had them fix it. But there was a key in my truck and I don't have it. So now they can steal my freaking truck rims if they want. They said they had to break the locks and put on a whole new kit, but no key replacement. I said, okay. She goes, or I go, okay. And then what's weird is she goes, you're sending pics to the group text. So that's at 5:38 p.m. The thing is, there was other pictures that I sent before that, and look, they're not in here. All right, they're not. You're sending pics to the group text. Here's the thing. There's the 346 number. This is King Tut right here. 346 375 3292. That is the number that we called, or she gave me, right? Right before Maggie hit her. So this is the guy I met with. This is the guy that tried to do some kind of weird hit on me. And suppose this, I do a lot of training, have a lot of guns and rifles, did a lot of competitions. I know what gun oil smells like. I could smell Hops number 9 gun oil, or like the gun cleaner, all right, on that guy. Whether they just wiped it down with a rag, I can smell fucking gun oil. I know what it smells like. You know it wasn't mine because mine didn't have any fresh gun oil on it. My shit's already clean, and I haven't had to mess with it in years. But this one, whatever they had on them, I could smell it. Very distinct smell. And so at 5:38 p.m., I'm sending text to group pictures. I'm sending pictures of crackheads. It's getting dark where I'm at. There's a lot of like bad looking dudes. They're walking up to my wife's shiny ass car. Keep in mind, I've only been out of the mental hospital for like a week at this point, not even 13th, so a week. All right, and I got a gun on me and a couple $1,000s on a bad side of town. If I get pulled over, it's not gonna look good. Even if I'm saying I'm trying to get my dog, my friend, she's out here somewhere. Someone stole her. Ain't gonna believe that. Even if that's the truth, they ain't gonna believe it. Ain't nothing good happening during the day, whatnot at night. And eventually they come and grab a few $100 from me. I do it, then they give me some lip, and they're saying that they're gonna need some help getting the dog. I said, dude, just give me the damn number. I don't need 4 or 5 dudes. I don't need you. Just give me the address. I'll get the dog myself. I'm capable of doing that. And if they ain't gonna give me my property, I'll call the cops and we'll do it that way. If my dog is there, just give me the address. And I could tell these guys were getting sketchy. I saw a black, looked like Chrysler 300 with these ugly ass rims. And that's the one that pulled up the second time. Same car that I'm pretty sure was in our neighborhood. And when they sent me this other area, all of a sudden my GPS was working normal, and this is where I ended up. I ended up following the blue road down this just random fucking area, and then a car pulls in behind me. And I don't even know where this is at, because like I said, this is like off the beaten trail. And I was like, man, I got the bad feeling in my gut. My hair started standing up. So I just pretty much pulled my gun out from the seat and I sit on it. And then I throw my car in reverse and I speed the fuck out of there right by this other car that's following me. And I head to like a glow in the distance, which is a really well lit gas station. And that's where I go. I'm sending pictures in the group text, because every group text has a picture, and that picture has the forensics of the location and all the data where it was taken. Just in case anything happens, you can see this cross streets, some of the people that are around me, and so forth in this. I'm doing that for my own protection. And Lindsay, she's going, you're sending pics to the group text. Yeah, because I'm in the middle of a bad area. She's not letting anyone know what's happening. No one else knows that this rugged dude, drug dealer, dog napper, is trying to extort his friend for money so we get our dog back. It's all secret to everyone. So we're not worried about the money, bro. It's just we want to go through said to give you a call. I don't know what King Tut just sent. We need to make Chloe blown up on social media. Something funny and punches you in the face. I'm thinking like a big ad. We just need to find this dog. My heart breaks with every sign I put out. So this is the next day. The next day I'm doing, you know, flyers by myself, and I'm trying to do all this. And you know what's funny? I put out a ton of flyers. The problem is, and if you sail ahead, you didn't realize I put all these flyers out my wife made. This is the first flyer. There's no phone number on it. I put this in my neighborhood, in the neighborhood across from me, on mailboxes and stuff. I put it, up. There's not a freaking phone number on it. So how the hell did she get a phone call? How the hell did King Tut or whoever call my wife when there's no fucking phone number on this flyer that I put up? That's the very first flyer. You can see right there. And then I eventually did get a second flyer that she made. But the thing is, they called her. How? How did they call my wife? How did my wife have someone call her that saw that flyer? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Yet she says, come out, phone about Chloe. She got stolen. Right after I need to go to the AT&T store. What's significant about that is that when I went to the AT&T store, after I heard all these audios of her doing some weird shit with some kind of weird embezzlement phone Zoom meeting, and then a bunch of other shit where she's like literally listening to, that's her thing. She's trying to stay one step above of her little scheme, learning how she can learn from other people that embezzled or already gone to prison is what she's doing. She's doing her research on how to stay ahead of this and stay composed because she's a narcissistic piece of shit. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. So when I went to the AT&T store on January 2nd and 3rd, they said you need to call the AT&T fraud hotline, global fraud alert hotline. They highlighted it, said when you go home, call this number. When I went home, I tried to call that number. I was not able to call out. It was like a blocked VPN or something. My phone said call during business hours or call back on Monday. And that was Friday evening on a 24-hour global fraud hotline alert. I've also, when I tried to call a non-emergency line, I couldn't get through. It was like an AI weird voice. But when I called a non-emergency line months later on the secondary phone, it got right through. So whatever happened to my cloned phone, it made it to where I cannot call or access outside this bubble. They did something to my phone where the apps were very limited, like the Google Maps and stuff like that. I didn't have it. And whatever they sent me was on a goose chase. So there's your freaking answer. She made the flyer, failed to put the phone number on, and then yet someone still called my wife, given that fact, and told me about the dog. And then the next day, I'm literally making flyers and printing them out and just devastated. It's a nice day, and I tell her, call around lunchtime and just want to see what she was up to. She's, I just got done. We're going to have a half day. We're going to go to Carbach. It's like a company event. I was like, hell yeah. I was actually just thinking about that. It's a nice day. And every time I find a dog or whatever at network, I go to Carbach and I'll find a dog at home, or can't tell you how many times I've done that. I even done it once with her and my daughter. And I actually rubbed shoulders with some of the people at Carbach. So, but when I talk about her with this, she gets really like hesitant and she starts getting defensive and starts like you can't come up here. It's a company thing. I'm like, hell, I know all your friends that, Morrow, why can't I go up there? It's, no big deal, but like, hell, let's do this. And then she makes a big stink about how she's on a new team. I was like, at this point I said, all right. So she's talking about her friend Amy and some other chick for like 7 minutes. And I said, what's the fucking deal? Who is it that you don't want me to see? Who's the guy? Who's the strange man that's in your team that you don't want to fucking hear? I said, is it the asshole John that always takes all your credit and da-da-da-da-da? Because for 2 years, this guy, John, her intermediate or her superior or whatever, her boss, acts like she's been telling me that he's basically a piece of shit that doesn't take point lead, isn't reliable. Everyone on her team looks to her. She paints this really bad picture of him, how he's pretty much just this fat piece of shit that takes all her credit, and she's the one that's doing all the work and taking all the lead and all this. Well, let me tell you, on this conversation with her, that all stopped. She had a different image, like he's actually a great guy outside of work, and he's really, been helping her, and he's really, he's not I think I called him a douchebag or something. She never called him a douchebag. I think I was just saying that, but, and that was me making this mistake. I was upset, arguing with her, but she's always painting this guy in an ill light. And now this guy is so good and just total different fucking story than what I've been told. Well, guess what? I don't know what this guy looks like, but I can tell you right now, I suspected that she was getting help ledging the books. And I suspected that from the get go when I found a second QuickBooks account. And when my CPA found all this money that went to another account not related to any of us. So that was the red flag. And it all lined up with October 14th of a changed email. And then, honestly, after all this happened, within 5 days I was in a psych ward, and then this. Well, the big thing is that when I got through all this, I was going through everything in our house, and I found the passports. What's weird is I went through every drawer, cleaned up, and when I was putting back documents, I found the passports. I was putting back specifically all my insurance documents. That's where the passports are at. Oddly enough, there was a giant death benefit thing folded in half because it was in a purse. It was for insurance. Well, that was laying on the counter after I organized everything and put it all away. So I was asking her, like, what's up with this insurance death thing that shows that if I'm dead, it's $1 million? And she didn't. It was like written forever. And finally, I brought it up to her after sitting there for a week or two. And honestly, it wasn't there before. She had it sent or had it, I don't know, it was in her purse when all the other insurance paperwork was still with me. Well, one day it was missing, and I found it in the shredder. So I pulled out the shredder, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Why would you just put it with all the other paperwork? Well, it looks like I have a couple different policies, full and a term, one for her, one for me. But the thing is, I'm paying for all of it. My LLC is paying for all of it. So that means that the LLC is the beneficiary. That's how it works. And I was urged to do that when I set this up. Well, one of them isn't set up as the beneficiary. It's set up with her as the beneficiary. That ain't supposed to be that. But also, I think I also found where there was two just and death benefits. There was another one for me. So I'm thinking either she took out another policy on me or she switched it. I don't know. But either way, each one of those policies is worth $1 million, and she shredded that paper after the fact. And right before all this, she had me do what? Delete my Facebook page where it showed that she was embezzling. So look, if there's motive, there it is. There's a bunch of money. I told the truth and nothing but. And because I brought up where's all the money and who's the strange man and all these checks that you wrote that you weren't a signer on, I am the owner of this I'm the owner of this LLC. You are not a party to it. You're not an employee. And you basically, I trusted you as my wife to do the right thing, but you are literally stealing and siphoning every dollar. And it's a lot to go through. But I'm at this point in my life where I've learned all these truths, and now it is something far more sinister that I've uncovered. It's a lot. It's a lot. After that moment, I did go up to the car block, not to crash it, because look, that's what I do. I'm a social butterfly. I do roofs. I network. I've literally crashed a company event at Kalahari with my wife. It was like a rave night, whatever. I told her, hey, put on these glasses, put on these lights, and we went there. And she was out of place, but I'm social. I get along. I blend. I do great. I do really, really good at my job. I'm great. I create relationships. And one woman in that place at Kalahari was like, throwing her nose up. And the other guy is like, he just posted up next to me, dude, I love how you just crashed this party. It's badass, dude. Like, what's up? Ended up getting some contacts. That guy actually does like real estate. Taught me a few things. I did some roofs for some people over here in Houston and in Austin. Sorry. And that's what I do. I rub shoulders with good people. I buy a bunch of drinks. Got some deals out of it. He got some deals out of it. It's just the world of business, and I'm a master at it. And so, no different from me going to Carbach at a company event where all my wife's friends are or whatever, because I've done roofs for some of her friends or tried to. I've done a roof for so many people. That's how I meet. That's how I mingle. So I go up there. I don't crash this thing, but as I'm heading up to Carbach, my friend calls me and says, hey, I just thought of you. And she was, just let me know that, I told her what was going on with my life, and she just let me know, like, what, trust your gut. You have a really strong intuition, and just go with whatever you believe. Trust your gut, and just you're really smart. And I said thank you, appreciate that. I said I'm heading up to Carbach right now to confront my wife and this guy that's been around my son. I have a feeling she's having a work-related affair, and damn it, she's like, you know what? I sense, she's like, whatever you're sensing is probably accurate. So most people that sense something wrong like that, true. And it's been a living hell this year trying to be with my wife at home. And normally what she says is, it's easier when you're gone. It's better when you're gone. You know why? Because then she has full control of everything and can do whatever the fuck she wants and with whoever she wants. And that's what's haunting my son. My son told me, and told me when he was younger, I couldn't understand it. That's why he'd bang his head on the ground. He'd bang his head in this stuff and lash out. It's because she's having him around a fucking other man when I'm gone and I come home and he's conflicted about it. He doesn't know what's going on. Well, now he knows, and he was told not to tell me, and they screamed at him and berated him for 2 weeks while I was gone, to a point where he didn't know how to talk to me anymore because he was afraid of what he said. He didn't know saying Mommy was talking to another man while driving was a bad thing until it was. And he paid the price for that. And now he's trying to protect Everly of the same fact, because Everly is just learning how to talk. And she knows about the upstairs house with the kids in the bunk beds in the apartment complex where Mommy goes and where Thatcher goes. And I've heard this crazy bitch say I love you to this guy 2 minutes from my house in a gas station with my kids in the car. Yep, that's right. That's right. I got it all lined up. I got the audios too. So, and they were also playing with the audio, so they know what they're doing. They're not very good. I've been messing with sound engineering for 25 years. I can tell when they manipulate sound audios. It's not hard. And shows their intent. So, getting on it. I know this is a lot. I go up to Carbach. As I go there, there's a notification sent to my phone saying that now the change in the paperless or the change in account, which is weird. And I get that as I'm at Carbach, and I just leave drinking a beer with one of the owners out there at the bar when I first walk in. He says, hey, I haven't seen you. I'm like, small world. I knew I was going to see you here. And he gave me a glass pitcher, or sorry, a glass with some beer in it, while everyone else at the damn company party is drinking out of plastic cups. I'm the one guy with a glass Carbach beer. Imagine that. I get to the thing. I call and say, hey, I stopped by Carbach. Where you at? And sure enough, I could spot her in the back, but she's trying to sit with some old friends. The weird thing is I didn't know what John looked like, but he made himself known to me 3 different times. That guy looked me in the eye, walked by me 3 different times, almost like he wanted to know me or he knew of me. But I never knew what this guy looked like, never talked to him, never spoke to him. I just knew he was short, fat, and ugly. That's about all I knew. That's what she said. He's just some short, fat, ugly guy that basically takes all his credit. So I was looking for a short, fat, ugly guy, which I didn't think was an affair. I think it's more or less ledging the books and helping steal the money. But come to find out, Suchi, a couple of my wife's friends back in the day, told me how much everyone really likes Lindsay. All the guys really like Lindsay. And the thing is, Lindsay's apparently a raging whore. Because someone has been telling me through an unknown phone call, and someone at her party, I don't know who it was, they said, man, you seem like a great guy, or he said, man, you seem like a really good guy. If I were you, I'd take a close look at your girl. Or I would start looking closer at your girl. Didn't know what the fuck that meant, and they hang up. I had 2 or 3 of these unknown calls in the period of about a month, maybe 2 months, from maybe September, August area to October, which led to a lot of this. And my son's staying the strange man, everything. So it's a lot. I know it's a lot, but in the end, I'm not crazy. All I did was bring up, where's all the money? I listened to my son. I believe what he told me because he's a pure man. He's a pure kid. He's innocent. He didn't know anything wrong until he was, punished for saying that. And then all this happened. And then that night, after we leave Carbach, I go get some takeout, and that's when it started up again. What time was it? Probably 6:45 or so. I get a phone alert from Carbach saying that someone tried to log in to my Angsty, tried to log into my phone, which is, I have 2 phones, and when I came out of the mental hospital, all my keys was gone, my secondary phone was gone, and a lot more. All right, my crypto things, my passwords, everything gone, compromised. And so someone at Carbach logged into my secondary cloned phone or my secondary Samsung, all right, while on their Wi-Fi system. And it gave me an alert. So I enabled that. And Lindsay goes, well, shit, that ain't gonna look good for me. I said, no, it doesn't look good for you, because I told you, you're working with someone or screwing someone that you're involved in this. And so that happened, and I got printouts of that. Also, they went through all my emails, locked me out. Daisy chained them all with recovery email that they all knew, which was pjhatfield.trust@gmail.com. She had that because I gave it to her to put on Ford Pass for her phone because we shared Ford Pass for our cars. I had Ford Pass on my truck. I had it on her car. I've had Ford Pass account since I've had my truck in 2020, and I shared that account with her. When I gave her that password, all of a sudden, that was used on my Wallace. It was used on daisy chaining all my emails together as a backdoor, and that's how they locked me out and got into my Ford Pass, which they signed me out December 27th. On December 23rd, I was going to try to call my daughter, and it was December, and I realized I didn't ever get a chance because this whole December got blown away with just all the drama and all the 5 alarm fires every day. Every day I'm trying to get emails and get, things situated, and I just kept getting rehacked. Well, guess what? It was the day my grandma passed away, and I figured, what? Something significant about this day. I just want to talk to my daughter. I feel like she's missing me. My wife goes, well, why don't you try calling on a Google Fi because my number's blocked. And I said, that's a good idea. And she went and got her phone, and then we're in the garage, and as she's coming back, she stops. She realizes, oh, shit. And she opens up the app. She gets her Google Fi app, and she's at the doorway of the garage, and she realizes that there's probably all these incriminating calls on Google Fi or whatever Google app she's got. So as she pauses in the doorway with the door open, she is swiping and deleting. I can just see the scroll. She's just frantically fucking deleting. And as she's doing that, it's about 30, 40 seconds. I'm just staring at her to the point where I'm like, I'm propped up on the getting a Gatorade. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And as she's doing that, I see the backpack. I'm just kind of staring at her and staring at things around her. And I see this gray backpack that she takes to and from her mom and dad's house with the kids. And in the little mesh pocket, I noticed right there and then, December 23rd, that there is either, I think it is my truck key, but what I realized later is not. It's the secondary car key when I go up closer to it. And I can see that in that mesh pocket is the spare SUV key that was in my fucking fanny pack. And if those keys were missing and stolen, and she doesn't know, then how the hell is that key there, along with the one safe key that's upstairs that was also my fanny pack? So she's lying about the keys. She had the secondary house car key in the freaking backpack and just forgot about it with all the stuff that's going on, and I found it. And I didn't make a scene. I didn't even retrieve it till later after all that. So when I did retrieve it, I kept it. And what's funny is the battery was dead in it. That's probably why she forgot about it. And I had ordered a new battery for it right before I went to the hospital. So I was like, hell yeah. So now I have this key, and I kept it a secret. On December 26th, the day after Christmas, which was a shitty Christmas, didn't get one fucking gift, didn't get one call, nothing. Same with my birthday, except for the cat. I got a cat for my birthday, which is great. I wanted to get a new cat. She's like, that's a great idea. So we did that. On December 26th, at 8:35 in the morning, she's being a serious bitch already. Just waking up like that to like a rainy day. And at 8 something in the morning, she's acting like she wants me to give her access to photos so she can share photos with the kids. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't really care to share anything on my Google Drive because my Google accounts have all been ransacked and all my pictures been getting deleted and everything else. Well, at 8:36 in the morning, she had Angsty101 Gmail, which is my oldest email, send to her full access to my Google account, my Google Pics, which gives her location, pictures, everything. I did not send that email. I did not authorize that. She did that because she has access to all that shit. Within 1 hour of that, she fucking ups and leaves, bluntly, just within 5 minutes, packs up our shit and leaves. I'm just gonna go see my phone. I'm like, shit, I thought you were gonna go there around lunchtime. Shit, you gonna leave right now? Okay, we need to fucking, it's 9:30 in the morning. She rolls out with the kids and leaves, just bluntly, and I'm like, shit, okay, cool, I guess, fuck. She made it seem like she's just gonna go to her parents' house, but she said that, we're gonna go to a ranch after the fact. And I was like, well, this is bullshit. I've been here all day, I'm just depressed, by myself, missing my dog, really missing my dog, hanging out with the cat, and she's gone. And like I said, there's no memories. I spent this whole fucking Thanksgiving, this whole month by myself, pretty much. The whole fucking year, pretty much isolating from her by myself. No love, no conversation, just her and her phone with a mean looking face or watching some stupid ass bachelorette show or cooking show. That's all she does. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna go Austin or just go see some friends. Just get out here and drive. I just don't want to be in this house no more. And so that's what I do. And I ended up just missing a couple friends, like a couple turns while I was talking to some friends on the phone, and I ended up driving to San Antonio. I don't know why, but like there was some crazy stuff happening in the sky, you know, with all these weird orbs and drones and UFOs, whatever. And it's kind of by an Air Force base, and I just like, fuck, I'm gonna go check this out. It's a pretty night, and it's just seemed right. Didn't have a plan, just spontaneously went. And honestly, I was out there. I was tired. I thought we might just drive back, but I didn't know. And so I called a few friends, a few colleagues, a few people I did roofs for in San Antonio just to see if anyone was, hey, man, what's going on? I'm in the area. I just want to see what's going on. Let's grab a beer and maybe I could bunk up a place. I didn't feel like renting a place, right? So luckily, I did get a hold of a couple friends that hung out. Got to see some really cool stuff in the sky. I stayed the night. Next day, long story short, I wake up, it's a really cold morning, and I do like a remote start in my truck, and I notice there's an alert saying that December 26th at 10:55 p.m., Mama's car doors was open, alarm sounded, and I got an alert for it. And when I scrolled down, I could see like the location of the SUV before, all right, before it refreshed, and it was not at my house. That SUV was not at my fucking house. I don't know where it was, but it wasn't a house. It looked like it was on like, I don't know, like somewhere down 45, like a bad part of town. It was not in my neighborhood or by my house. It was probably about, it looked like a good hour away. Um, so kind of odd. And at first I thought maybe she stayed the night in Conroe, but she swore up and down that she stayed at our house by herself. I believe that's true, but the car definitely was not there. She knows that. Whoever brought her home took that car, left it, whatever. But there was a device in that car. There was a phone that I just had on there, and it was just full record. So guess what? That car at early in the fucking morning was driving with Mexican Chicano rap in it, and it was driving like a fucking bat out of hell, like heavy, heavy exhaust, like just really going for it. And all of a sudden, after about an hour driving, you hear that fucking car pull up to a gate. You hear the beep. You hear the fucking gate open. You hear the car speed off, go over a speed bump, and then immediately pull into a, like boop, boop, and stop. And I'm talking within a few seconds, you hear my kids coming out, you hear the door open, and then all the doors shut and they get in. You don't hear, hey, get on your seatbelts, let's go, come on. You don't hear none of that shit. You just hear like kids get in the car, boom, boom, and then the car's driving. It's not even like it takes 5 minutes to get our kids in the seatbelt and all that shit. This is fast. This is like a car swap. All right, so wife gets in the car, kids get in the car, and whoever's driving the car stayed at my house. So at 9:38, my wife drives that car to drop off Everly, and Thatcher's not in school that day, and then she drives back home. At 10:01 in the morning, Justin Hatfield at 2006 get an email saying there's some kind of security alert, and then at angsty101 at gmail.com at 10:02 in the morning gets a hotspot local